So for supper tonight, we are gonna have a pulled pork sliders with coleslaw and on some fresh rolls. So I do make bread probably once every 2 weeks, sometimes every week in the winter time. The wood stove's going, so I'm gonna be able to use that to let it rise. This is all the ingredients you need. This cup just has water in it. I also have a little bit of water in my kettle. All right, so I'll show you how to make it. All right, so in my mixer, this is just water in my kettle. I'm gonna put 3/4 of a cup of hot water. And then 1 3/4 of a cup of cold water. So 2.5 cups total. What I do is I just stick my finger in it. It should be slightly warmer than room temperature, so you should feel that it's warm. In that, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of yeast. I just keep my yeast in my freezer. I'm actually almost out, and just sprinkle it on top. So this has been sitting for maybe 2 minutes, and you can see it's starting to bubble up. That's the yeast being activated. So that's what you want to see. And you can smell it. It smells bready, right, buddy? Yeah, it smells like bread. A tablespoon of sugar. A tablespoon of salt. I hate this salt box. And 3 tablespoons of oil, or it could be butter or margarine, just any fat. I'm just using olive oil today. Now, every time I make bread, it's a little bit different. The recipe calls for up to 7 cups of flour, but sometimes you don't need that much. So this is six cups of flour, and then I have a little extra just in case. So I'm going to start the mixer and add my flour. And just as that's combining, I just scrape down the sides. All right, so I just let that knead for about 5 minutes in the mixer. You do not need a mixer at all to make bread, but it sure does make things easier. You use a bread machine as well, or you can just use your own 2 hands. If you are using your hands, I find when you're doing the initial mix to get the flour in, I like to use the back side of a spoon, and it just makes it a little easier to mix in. I just have a damp cloth here, and we'll just cover it up. I leave it in front of the wood stove for about an hour, but you can also just leave it in your oven with the light on, or any other dry, warm place. So this dough has been rising for about an hour. See, it has doubled in size, give or take. Since we did oil it, it's very easy to take out. I'm just gonna flour the surface here and dump it on. I just gave that a couple of quick kneads on a lightly floured surface. So there's flour on the side, just wash my hands. Use my pastry cutter to cut it up. I have a scale here. I found the best weight for rolls is 60 grams a piece. So I'll just cut these all into 60-gram pieces, roll them into balls, and they're going on my baking sheet over here. right, so that's 24 60-gram rolls all rolled out. Gave me a little guy full piece there to play with. I'm just gonna cover these with a damp towel again. This time they really only have to rise for 20 minutes or so. Heating the oven to 350 and I'll pop these in for about 15 minutes. So I just pulled these from the oven. It was 15 minutes and then I rotated the pan around and did 10 more minutes. I didn't film turning them around for one, you know what that is like. And also I had to go get my kids from the school bus. This is a frozen block of butter. It doesn't need to be frozen, just I don't have any defrosted right now. I like to rub the tops with butter just to make them kind of shiny and extra delicious. Another way to tell they're done, besides them being golden brown, it's very sunny in here right now, so if you tap on them, the outside's hard and it sounds kind of hollow. All right, so there they are, and I'm just gonna sit down and figure out if this is cost effective. I will tell you they are delicious. But let's just see how much it costs me to make 24 rolls. So this is round 2 of dinner rolls. This is what they should have looked like the other day. See how much bigger they are? So much better with new yeast. All right, so I just wanted to sit down with the numbers and see if it's cost effective to put all this work into making your own rolls. Before I did the cost comparison, I would have 100% said yes, absolutely worth it. There's nothing like having fresh baked bread out of the oven. It tastes different, it tastes better. The kids are excited for supper when they know that there's fresh rolls or fresh bread. But I also want to do the actual what it costs. So I'm not counting in my labor, obviously. It's not a lot of physical labor. It's a lot of waiting. So it is helpful if you can bake bread on a day that you'll be home for an extended period. So we have 2.5 cups of warm water. We have a tablespoon of yeast. I had to buy new yeast, as you can see at the end there. My yeast was $8.49 for the 1 pound package, so 17 cents per recipe. 1 tablespoon sugar. Last time I bought sugar was $1.88 for 2 kilograms. If I ever see it below $2 or a bag, I usually stock up. So last time I bought quite a few bags. And so I paid 1 cent for sugar for this recipe, 1 tablespoon salt. It's routinely 99 cents a kilogram here, so 1 cent for that as well. 3 tablespoons of olive oil. I used olive oil, so that was $10.99 for 1 liter. So that works out to 46 cents. You could definitely cut down this price if you use margarine or vegetable oil. 7 cups of flour. When I bought flour, it was $7.99 for 10 kilograms. That was on sale, but it does routinely come on sale for $10, $11 for the 10 kilograms of the No Name brand. So that was 70 cents. For 24 rolls, it cost me $1.35. This is the same recipe I use for bread. I just put it in loaf pans and it makes 2 loaves of bread. So I just went on PC Express, and the No Name dinner rolls are $3.99 for 12, so that would be $8 a recipe. The store brand are $4.99 for 18, so that would be $7.50 for 24 rolls. And No Name bread is on sale this week for $2.49 a loaf, so that would be $5 per recipe. So making your own, you actually save quite a bit of money, but it is a time investment. When things are on Flash Food, I do find I can usually get loaves of bread for $1 a loaf through Flash Food, as long as I'm going to use them within a day or two. So I do use that quite often. But I do try to make bread at least probably once every week in the winter months, and then in the summer months, it's probably closer to once every 2 weeks, just because I don't like to heat up the house using the oven as much. All right, hopefully this persuades you to start making your own bread, because there is nothing like it. All right, thanks so much and have a great day.